This is the Getting Started with MLA Format tutorial. I've got a paper here that I'm going to get ready, set up according to MLA form. And so the first thing I need to do is insert a page number with my name on it. And I need to type, so it's last name, page number. That's it. And at the top, I've got it over on the left-hand side, so student name goes at the top. No need for it to be in bold. And then I would like for my students to put what it is, and so what the paper is. So we'll put SPN. In my class, that stands for Scholarly Personal Narrative, draft number 1, and then the date. So a three-line heading is okay with me. And generally, you put the day before the month in MLA format. So it's 17 March 2011. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And then I've got my title centered. What's your title? Do you like it? Does it need to change? And I've broken my paper up into sections, which you could do, but don't have to do. When we get to one of the goals of the class is that students participate in a scholarly conversation of their choice. In other words, they choose something they want to write about: video games, moving to the United States, becoming a pharmacy major, and they start to read what experts are saying about the area of their topic, and then they look to speak into that. I want to drop down to a place where I am started with formatting a paper for MLA format. You need something called a signal phrase, and that introduces to your reader that you're getting ready to say something that doesn't come from you. And so I say, I find this metaphor present in Kenneth Burke's Philosophy of Literary Form, first published in 1941. Burke writes that you listen for a while until you decide that you have caught the tenor of the argument, then you put in your or. I want students to notice first that because I haven't mentioned Kenneth Burke in this paper, I've done a little bit of work to get the reader ready to hear from him. And the thing that I see in papers a lot is I'm reading along, and then all of a sudden I see Burke writes that, and then there's the quote. So it helps your reader to do a little something to get them ready for who they're going to hear from, and that Burke has written Philosophy of Literary Form. If you don't know who Kenneth Burke is, most or all of my readers will. It helps to see something that he's written. So for students in my classes who are writing about a variety of topics, many of which I don't know, and many of which their primary audience, their fellow students, don't know, it helps to set up a little bit with the names and who they are. So Burke writes that. That's a signal phrase. It contains the name, and it gets us ready for the quote. And so this is a direct quote. It's right there, and that is in quotation marks. And this is called the parenthetical citation, which sounds trickier than it is. Parenthetical, just parentheses. And so you have parentheses, and the 110 is the page number. And so the thing that we want to make sure happens is when somebody gets named Burke, he needs to be in the works cited page. And so if we drop all the way down, to my works cited page, right here is that entry. So it's a one-to-one. Every time something gets mentioned in the paper, there should be a corresponding entry in the Works Cited page. If I quote Burke 5 times from his book, The Philosophy of Literary Form, it'll just be down here 1 time. As far as getting started with the Works Cited page, so this is my Works Cited page. It's on a separate sheet. It's the final sheet of my paper. And so I have Works Cited, not bolded, not Works Cited, just Works Cited works because there's more than one, centered at the top of the page. And then I have my authors going down the left side. The author's names stick out further. Everything else is indented an extra 5 spaces, so it's the entries are alphabetized by author. And so this first one is a book, and so that's the author's last name, first name. This is her book. It's a second edition, and it was published in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and Boynton Cook Publishers. There's the year, and then it was print. It wasn't an online entry. Now, as far as preparing these articles, I'm going to give you, there's a lot of these kinds of resources, but if I type in son of citation, and I go to this website, and I've shown this in other tutorials in more detail, but I click on MLA, and there's all these choices for MLA. For example, a student and I cited the DVD, a student and I have cited a YouTube article. Here is a journal article, and so that last article, there were 2 authors, and so I add the author, and it's pretty, and then I just fill out all of these blanks: author, title of article, title of publication, etc. I hit submit, and in that little box would be the citation that I need to copy and paste right here into my Works Cited page. So I hope this has been helpful for you just to get started using MLA Form.